The 2023-24 Premier League season begins tonight, so I am going to be putting my fantasy Premier League team in the FIFA 22 career mode to see how they do. I've created a team in the career mode and let's just crack on with it, guys. Now, one thing I have learned over the last 2-3 years I've been doing fantasy Premier League is that a strong goalkeeper is always needed. It's about making saves and keeping the clean sheet. So it's not just about them making saves, but they need to have a good defence in front of them too. And you know what? And honestly, looking at the games for even just game week 1, I feel like the best option, like I've looked at all of them, is Aaron Ramsdale, because my normal pick is always Alisson, but he's got Chelsea in his first game, so I just didn't know what to do there. So Aaron Ramsdale, I think, is the safest option. As for the backup goalkeeper, I've gone with Forster from Spurs. I just feel like every once in a while, Lloris always picks up an injury, so Forster will have to be there to step in, but you know, he'll be starting a few games, I'd say, at least. Let's move straight on to the defence. Okay, so starting off, I know lots of people this year who are focusing a lot on having a good defence. I don't know why, but I'm just going to stick with what I usually do. I always have like a few decent centre backs, mainly full backs, so you know that, because they have better chance of getting you points from crosses, assists, score and all that. And if they keep a clean sheet as well, that's even a bonus. Okay, so starting off, Kieran Trippier for Newcastle. I feel like Newcastle are going to have a great season. Not quite as good as last season because they are in the Champions League this time around. But no, Kieran Trippier, I just going to feel like he's just going to keep doing what he does best. Getting those assists, being such a crucial part for Newcastle. Is he their captain? I am unsure, to be honest. But yes, he's definitely my starting right back. Moving on to my first centre back, Raphael Varane. Honestly, between Varane and Martinez, either of them could score, either of them could keep a clean sheet. We don't know, but they are, I think, one of the best partnership in the defender duos in the Premier League. And Varane and Martinez, honestly, I could have chosen either one, but I've just decided to go with Varane though. And you know what? Why wouldn't you? A 3-4-time Champions League winner, he has to be in my team. Moving on now to my second centre back and my last, William Saliba for Arsenal. Now, honestly, Saliba, I've been a big fan of him ever since he went even out on loan to Marseille. I've always liked how he plays football, and I just love him in this team. Sure, I know Arsenal now, they got Timber along with Ben White and Gabriel. They got lots of good centre backs, but I still feel like Saliba stands above all of them because he's just one of the best centre backs in the Premier League without a doubt. He was so crucial for Arsenal last year. Him and Gabriel, another great defensive duo in the Premier League. Now, I've also gone with another full back, another right back, more of a right wing back though, in Kabore. Luton Town signed him from Man City, I think, this summer. And honestly, Kabore, from what I know, he's actually meant to be very good. I know there's lots of people picking him, so I'm just going to give him a chance. You know, he's just going to be on my bench mainly, but sure, who knows, maybe he could actually do something good. And then for my left back and my final defender, Estupiñán from Brighton. He was really good last year for them. I remember having him last year. He got me plenty of points. Estupiñán, now that, you know, Brighton are in the Europa League too, he mightn't get as much games in the Prem, but sure, I don't know. We'll see how he does for the first few weeks. Alright, so the team is starting to come together. 7 players in already, but there is no team without a good midfield. So, as most people know, in FPL, midfielders also count as wingers. So say if I wanted to bring in Raheem Sterling, that would count it up as one of my midfielder slots, you know? So that's why, and then forwards are only strikers. So in my midfield spots in FPL, I've gone with number 1, Declan Rice. Now honestly, I'm almost certain he's going to start for Arsenal. He was a big help for them in the Community Shield the other day when I was watching that. But Declan Rice, honestly, you can expect him to score a goal from, like, I don't know, 30 yards out, whatever else. Declan Rice, well, maybe not that far. But Declan Rice, he's a leader at Arsenal. I expect him to start every game. And, you know what, I feel like he could do good as well. Moving on now to Bruno Fernandes. In my opinion, Man United's most crucial player. He's their captain. Honestly, he's the biggest leader in that team. He'll score a goal. He usually scores on opening day. Usually, speaking of scoring of opening days, Mohamed Salah, for the last 6 years consecutively, he has scored on the opening game of the season. That's why he's also my captain for game week 1. Now, next up we have Alejandro Garnacho, probably one of the most exciting young prospects on the planet at the minute. People were calling him the next Messi, but I honestly think that's a bit far. But still, though, Garnacho, I expect him. He could come off the bench a few times, but I know he can score goals as well. And then last but not least, Morgan Gibbs, right? Sure, he was one of Nottingham Forest's star players last year, and I don't see why they wouldn't play him this year. There we go, that's the last signing of the midfielders. Now into the most exciting bit, the forwards. Was there ever any doubt? Of course I'm going to have Erling Haaland in my team. Broke the Premier League Golden Boot all-time record last season with, 36 goals I think it was. Now Erling Haaland, we had to spend over 200 million to get him in this. I'm surprised I didn't make him my captain, but I just have that really good feeling about Mo Salah and Liverpool this season. But yeah, was there really any doubt I was going to get this guy? After all that, we're only left with a left winger we need to sign. And that player is Darwin Núñez. I just said there how I think Liverpool are going to have a good season. I don't know why. I'm just feel like they're going to be a scary team to go up against this season. And that's why Darwin Núñez is going to be a big part of that. So he is my final forward into my FPL team. Now the team is complete. Let's see how it can actually do in the Premier League this season. And FYI, I did add 3 more real life Premier League players, just some iffy ones that no one really cares about anymore, just to, you know, have a full squad, I guess. We've successfully made it to the end of the season, but before I show you guys how we have done, I just want to let you know to stick around, because I'm going to be saying my Premier League predictions for the 23-24 season at the end of this. Off to a flying start, boys. They've won the Carabao Cup, beating Spurs in the final 3-2. Sadly, though, we get knocked out to Fulham in the quarter-finals of the FA Cup that Liverpool go on and win. But now the one that matters most, the Premier League. The whole point of this experiment to see how it actually do in the Prem. So first of all, the 3 teams that got relegated: Luton, Bournemouth and Sheffield. Alright, okay, sure. Then Fulham 17th, Brighton 16th, 15th Crystal Palace, 14th Forest, 13th West Ham, 12th Brentford, 11th Spurs, 10th Burnley. Geez, Burnley done good for just being a promoted team from the Championship. Getting 56 points, that's good. 9th place, Manchester United, tied with Burnley. Everton in 8th. 7th is Arsenal. 6th is Aston Villa. 5th is... Oh, we're 5th. Oh, that's disappointing. I thought we'd be like competing for the title, but no. Man City, of course, take away Haaland, doesn't really matter. Same Liverpool, took away Salah from them, still doesn't really matter to them. Took away Darwin Núñez too. And then Chelsea, sure, no one's picking much of their players this year. But still, though, guys, that's how my FPL team is done in FIFA 23 career mode. That's quite disappointing. I really thought that we could have done a lot better in the Premier League. I bet you if you had another season, we definitely would have won the Premier League. Anyway, though, who is our top goal scorer for the season? It's Mo Salah. Haaland only got 20. I was expecting him to get like 30 plus at minimum. But Haaland only gets 20. No wonder why we had such a disappointing season. Our main man didn't perform. But to be fair to Mo Salah, 34 goals. I have a feeling this is how things will go in real life this year. I don't know if Haaland's going to have quite the year he had last year. But sure, you know, it'll be interesting to see how he does. But no, well done, Mo Salah. Okay, I said I was going to do this, so to wrap up the video, I'm going to say my Premier League predictions for the 2023-24 season. Alright, let's get straight into it. 20th place, Luton Town. I feel like they can't compete with any teams in the Premier League. Like, I can't imagine them competing with a team like Fulham even. Any team like that, I just don't feel like they're able to compete, to be honest. I feel like they're just going to go straight back down. They just don't have that quality in their team yet. 19th, also getting relegated, Sheffield United. Honestly, a few years ago they're up there in 8th place. They're doing really good. I remember they got a few big wins versus Man United, guys. But now, though, same story as Luton Town. I don't think they can compete, to be honest, and they're going to go right down. Now, 18th, it's a bit controversial, I think, here, but I think it's going to be Wolves or Wolverhampton Wanderers, whatever you want to call them. Wolves, I just feel like they've lost that spark to want to win. I don't know, they need new players, they need a complete rebuild, and I honestly feel like if they go down to the Championship, it's good for them, to be honest. Wolves, I just feel like the signings they're making isn't helping them. They aren't improving the team. They're losing players. They've lost Ruben Neves to the Saudis as well. That's missing their best player. Yeah, I don't see them surviving. Okay, now who's going to survive by the skin of their teeth? I feel like it's going to be Nottingham Forest. I feel like they're going to just about survive. It'll come down to, I don't know, maybe the last 2-3 weeks where they'll finally survive. 16th Bournemouth, I feel like they'll also be in that relegation fight for most of the season, but in the end up, I feel like they'll be pretty comfortable in 16th. 15th place, Crystal Palace, guys. From 15th to about 10th place, no one really cares, so I'm just going to go through these guys quickly. 15th, Crystal Palace. Even though Crystal Palace have made some good signs, but like they've lost Wilfred Zaha, but I do feel like if they can get the best out of Eze and Olise in midfield and on the wings, they could probably get up a lot more higher. 14th is Everton, their last season at Goodison Park, and guys, honestly, it needs to be a special one. That's why I think the fans, they'll all be bringing Everton up, and that's why they'll be a lot more comfortable next season. Next season. 13th, West Ham. West Ham were in the Europa League this season. I feel like it's going to be a very similar story to last, where West Ham's going to put most of their focus into European football, and that could cost them, and that's why I think they're going to finish 13th. 12th place is Fulham. It's a bit iffy with Fulham because I don't really know what to think. They could either be that team that's in the relegation fight, or they could be that team that survives comfortably. You just don't know anymore, to be honest. 11th place, Burnley. I'm really a big fan of Burnley right now. Vincent Kompany, I think he's a great manager for Burnley. He's doing so good with them. Look, he said it himself. He loved managing the team last year and winning them the championship. And I feel like they're going to keep that momentum going in the Premier League and get 11th spot, which is great. 10th place is Brentford now. I think Ivan Toney isn't going to happen for Brentford this season. So honestly, I feel like I would have put Brentford up higher because over the last few years, Brentford have just been so good. I've loved watching them play football. The whole team lifts each other up, and it's just great to see. That's why they're going to finish in 10th. 9th place is Spurs. Now, guys, I'll tell you what. I actually had Spurs down a lot more further on 13th, 12th, because honestly, that's the direction I thought they were heading. But now it just depends if they can keep Harry Kane off. Harry Kane does go to Bayern, then I'd say Spurs will not finish inside the top 10. 8th is Aston Villa. Aston Villa, they got Conference League football, which, Unai Emery shines in a European competition like that. So I honestly feel like my Conference League prediction anyway is for Aston Villa to win, and they will still finish in 8th. 7th place is Brighton and Hove Albion. Brighton, I wanted to put them up higher. They finished in 6th last year. They had a great season last year, but now I feel like once again a lot of focus will go into the Europa League, and therefore they will finish in 7th place. Now 6th, another quite controversial one, is Newcastle. Everyone's expecting Newcastle to just go and finish top 4 again, but no, I don't think so. I feel like the pressure is going to start getting to Eddie Howe and Newcastle. Honestly, I do see Eddie Howe getting sacked this season when Newcastle go on that bad run of form around November, December time. I'm telling you, I feel like this is going to happen, but Newcastle, I feel like they'll probably get knocked out in possibly the round of 16 or the quarterfinals of the Champions League, and then that'll be their season gone to pot. I don't see them coming back from that. 5th place is Chelsea. Now top 4 and top 7 altogether, it's really tough to choose who could go in those positions because there's just so many good teams, and that's why Chelsea are just going to have to get 5th. But to be honest, Chelsea are in a rebuild stage, and 5th place isn't that bad. 4th is Manchester United, and the thing with Manchester United here is that everyone expects a lot from Man United to be competing for the title, and whenever that happens, recently anyway, in recent years, we've never performed up to standard. United have always just been struggling to get top 4. I feel like we'll scrape top 4 off Chelsea over the last few days of the season, last few days or weeks of the season. That's why United will get that 4th place. 3rd is going to be Arsenal. I feel like Arsenal last year is going to be one of the best seasons they have for a long time. That was great stuff by Arsenal last year, but I don't feel like they're going to get back to that point for another few years at least. 2nd place, Liverpool. Liverpool, very disappointing last year, but I've said in this video loads of times already how I think Salah's going to perform, Darwin Núñez are going to perform. I feel like the whole team's going to come together. They've made some great signings in Szoboszlai, McAllister, all that, and I feel like that's what they're going to get 2nd. And then, of course, 1st place, Manchester City. They're going to get 4 in a row Premier League titles. Guys, they're unstoppable. They're the best team in the world right now. You can't fault them. Haaland's going to do great. way. Kevin De Bruyne is going to be supplying them the balls. They're going to have a big centre back in now Josko Gvardiol and Ruben Diaz. Guys, honestly, it's a super team. No one can stop them, and that is why Man City are going to be your Premier League champions in the 2023-24 season. And that there is going to wrap up the video. Comment down below your 2023-24 Premier League predictions, and I'll catch you on in the next one. Peace.